The Biden administration remains vague on the looming deadline to fully withdraw troops from Afghanistan, as the Pentagon says that the war has cost U.S. taxpayers more than $800 billion. One America's John Hines has more as Republican lawmakers say it's time to bring our troops home.
I know with regard to Afghanistan, the Biden administration is under mounting pressure as it weighs whether to fully withdraw troops from Afghanistan by May 1st. A deadline negotiated by the Trump administration. Recently, Joe Biden has hedged, saying, quote, a withdrawal, quote, could happen but is tough. What do you make of what could be interpreted as a dodge on this particular question?
You know, I think we've been at war too long in Afghanistan. It's certainly outlived its mission. If you talk to any generals or anybody that's been following this war and you ask them, what is our military mission in Afghanistan, they can't tell you. In fact, people say, well, we're building roads and schools and we want them to have women's rights the same way we have women's rights in our country, which are admirable things, but they're not actually things you usually ask our sons and daughters to die for. Usually we die for an enemy that's trying to kill us or attack us. You know, after 9/11, I think it was justified to go in and go after the people who attacked us. Those people have been dead and gone for decades now. They're now the kids of people we killed 20 years ago fighting it against us. It's a country that's been tribal in nature for really since the beginning of time. They're not really a advanced Western society like ours. For us to sort of impose our will and just stay forever, it's just, you know, we're spending $50 billion a year. We've spent, you know, over $1 trillion there. I think it's time to come home. Is it going to be perfect when we leave? No, but it's not perfect with us there. I mean, we're there, and the Taliban has gradually been taking over more and more of the countryside. They probably control a third to a half of the country now. But does it surprise me that Biden wants to stay or might stay? Biden and Obama, when they were in charge the last time, we did a surge there. They put over 100,000 troops in. And you know what happens? The Taliban scurries away and they disappear, and we think we won, we won. And then as soon as we begin reducing the troops, which you have to do eventually, then the Taliban comes back. So I don't think you can truly defeat them. I think it's in some ways something they're going to have to figure out. And we've been extraordinarily helpful to them. But at some point in time, you got to fight for your own freedom. And I think the Afghanis are going to have to figure this out. But I'm not for sending any more kids over there.
Isn't this a little bit unique, though, because this is, I think your concern is really bipartisan in nature concerning any administration, whether it's the Bush administration or the Obama administration. Is this policy different today than it was maybe 10 or 20 years ago?
The policy of the administration, you mean? You know, I think the policy, there is sort of a bipartisan nature to those who support war, and there's also sort of a bipartisan coalition of those of us who are for ending the war. I think that they get caught up so much that it's no longer, like I say, the military mission's not even really present or near the surface. It's mostly about nation building now. And it's about sort of devising a Western style government that we can be pleased with, that treats people the way we would want to be treated. And it's about building roads and schools and gas stations and hotels. And there is a large number of people here in Washington who would just stay forever. They just say, well, they need us and we're going to take care of them in sort of this paternalistic way. When President Trump decided to move some troops around in Syria, they had 200 troops, not a big deal, moved them out in front of 100,000 Turks massing. They had a vote in Congress immediately the next week, a couple of days later, and 77 U.S. senators voted to condemn Trump for moving troops around. He's tried to remove some troops from Germany. The Biden administration's reversed that too. So it's a great deal of status quo from Republican to Democrat back to Republican about staying in these wars. But they're very, very expensive, not only in lives lost, but we spent a lot of treasure, trillions of dollars, and I'm not so sure it's a better world because of it.
Senator Rand Paul, thank you for talking to us on One American News, sir. Good to catch up with you.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Visit OAN.com for immediate access to all the clips you've been waiting to see.